Welcome into another Locked On NFL Insider Report. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens, joined by David Harrison from Locked On Bucks. And David, I think the status of your team yesterday compared to today was probably about a full 180. So, what's
Yeah.
the immediate reaction? I mean, it's got to be the best kind of surprise. Is this Christmas morning again?
Yeah, it's a good day in Tampa Bay. It's Tampa Bay. Once again, I
Yes.
think that's going to start coming back. Obviously, I mean, the only reaction you can't have is to be happy, right? So, when the Buccaneers exited the 2021 NFL season with that loss to the Los Angeles Rams, pretty much everybody said there's no way Tom Brady goes out that way, right? With that kind of a loss, being so close to potentially the greatest comeback in NFL playoff history, to lose in such heartbreaking fashion. And then, I mean, the week of the Senior Bowl, like, the season wasn't even technically over yet. The Super Bowl hadn't been played, the Pro Bowl hadn't been played. He basically goes out there and announces that he's stepping away. But and I'll give a shout out to 10 Tampa Bay's Evan Klosky, our technical partner there in Tampa, Florida. He's the first one that
Mhm.
really pointed out to me that Tom never said retire. He never said retiring, retirement. He never said the R word. And then interview after interview after interview, an insider after insider said, "Look, the door may still be open." He said, "Never say
Mhm.
never" himself. We kept the hope alive as long as we could, kind of put the candle in the
Yep.
window for him to follow it home as long as we could. Some people said, "Look, get over it, move on. It's done." But here we are, and I mean, it's one of the best Sundays that I think Bucks fans have had in a long time that didn't involve a Super Bowl win.
Absolutely. And I think, I mean, at least for anyone that's followed Tom Brady for any length of time, he's such an ultra competitor. It
Mhm.
was a bit, obviously he's older, but it was a bit out of character to kind
Right.
of come out and just be like, I'm done like that for someone who was still competing as well as he was.
Right.
So, for him to come back to this team and kind of the timing of it as well, because he's doing it before free agency, before
Yep.
to hopefully help entice more people to come to Tampa Bay. What is this team going to look like when he comes back to it?
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that Brady effect is gonna kind of ramp back up, right, and inspire some of these guys. So you start off with center Ryan Jensen. I think a lot of people basically expected him to get paid really nicely in free agency, like he really deserves to, and potentially join a team like maybe the Cincinnati Bengals, who obviously need offensive line help. But I think now Tom, obviously, he's not going to want to break in a brand new center for maybe 1 year
Right.
more to play. If he lives up to the "I want to play it on 45," that's this season. After this season, that would basically be over, which is what a lot of us were really kind of expecting. So he's going to want to do it with his Pro Bowl center, a guy that he won a Super Bowl with. So I'm sure that phone call has already probably been made by Tom, and that conversation's already kind of ongoing to see what kind of deal they can work out to where
Mhm.
Ryan gets some of the money that he deserves, but still allows the team to be able to function and operate. And then you look at the offensive line, Ali Marpet retired as well this offseason. He's still only 28 years old. He'll turn 29 in April. So
Mhm.
does he have a change of heart? Maybe now he wants to come back
Right.
and play another season. Alex Kappa is an unsigned member of that offensive line. So really, that's I think where the whole thing is really going to start. And then wide receiver Chris Godwin just got the franchise tag, so that's
Mhm.
almost $20 million of firm cap number that can't be moved unless they agree to a long-term extension. So you have to believe that those talks are going to intensify here over the next few weeks. But they do still have till July really to put that together, and they don't have to be under the salary cap. So as people look at salary cap numbers and kind of freak out, maybe they go 10 million over for a period of time, but as long as they get under by the deadline, they'll be fine. But I think securing that offensive line is going to be the first move because Tom isn't getting any more athletic than he already was. So you
Got to
need to
protect
protect
him.
him and allow him to stand back there. Yeah.
And of course, I mean, we've seen them do it before. They'll do whatever they have to do to
Right.
get Tom what he needs, and obviously, it's paid off as well in the past. So,
Mhm.
knowing that it's going to last however long it lasts, they'll do what they have to do to get the weapons around him he needs, get the protection he needs. Does Gronk stay now? I mean, his
Yeah.
wide receiver weapons are going to be there. Is he still going to have the people to throw to he wants?
Gronk is interesting because I mean, and I know a lot of Bucks fans got to automatically say, "Oh, well, now Gronk's back," and I don't know how true that really is. Gronk and Brady have a very tight relationship, but
Yep.
I think Brady would understand if Gronk still decided to go home to Buffalo and play for the
Mhm.
Bills for a year, and that's really kind of the assumption that was going to happen if Brady did stay retired, is that Gronk would go home, try to get a Super Bowl win for his hometown Bills. And it would have been a great, classic ending to the story. The Bills have been close, so many times going back to the '90s, and then even recent times getting to the AFC Championship game, but always falling a little short. It would have
Mhm.
been a movie, a movie type ending for a career for Rob Gronkowski. But I think that draw between he and Brady and that relationship they built, that's going to be a strong one. So I don't know how certain I am that Gronk comes back, but I think the chances now are obviously much higher than they were before Sunday night.
And obviously, with Tom coming back, I mean, the quarterback role is so important in this league that pretty much puts them back in the picture for a Super Bowl win,
Right.
especially with the way the NFC South looks right now. So, as far as you're concerned, is the ceiling for this team to get back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean the goal is going to be go back, and Tom put in his social media posting when he announced he was coming back. Unfinished business is the way that
Yep.
he wrapped that up. That unfinished business is winning another Super Bowl title, and I think in some way, shape, or form, had they won another Super Bowl again, there were a lot of people saying if they win again back to back, he probably rides out on top. I would argue that actually, if they win back to back Super Bowls, he never retires in the first place because the opportunity to win a three-peat of Super Bowls is something that nobody's ever done. That's something that Tom Brady could then hang on his mantle along with the other list of accolades that he's been able to collect so far in his career. So he's definitely coming back to win a ring. That is the goal for the rest of the NFC South. Now you're just trying to keep up, and we know that the Saints and the Panthers are both in the hunt for Deshaun Watson. For them, the good news, from a player's aspect, is that now there's one more team because the Buccaneers were also reportedly in those
Hmm.
conversations. Now you have one team. Honestly, the team that really looked to present Deshaun the best chances of winning. And if he's going to repair his reputation, it's going to have to start with winning up front. And that's probably what he's looking to do. So maybe now he wants to come back to a New Orleans Saints team and try to go and dethrone the GOAT. That might be something that plays into the hands of a team like the New Orleans Saints. Carolina Panthers, I don't really see that they have the weaponry to be able to send enough to Houston or to really convince Deshaun that that's a place for him to rebuild his reputation. So I think New Orleans is the best shot. But if they can't bring in Deshaun, there's not too many other quarterbacks out there that look like they can really threaten the crown. But I think the focus is going to be the tournament. Just get into
Yeah,
the tournament at the end of the season, one way or another, and then you've got Tom Brady. You've got a chance.
absolutely. And Tom Brady, just another thing to add to his list. I mean, retiring and unretiring, he's just going to keep going. And obviously, a great day for Buccaneers fans.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, David. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On NFL.